Yeah,
No.
do that. Hands in the middle, guys. Hang on. Put it in the middle of the screen, though. There you go. Okay, on 3, game time. 1, 2, 3. Game
Game
time.
time.
Game time.
Nice.
Game time.
Okay, and on that note, everyone, welcome to another episode of Bro Ops. What were we calling this? Bro Ops: The Last Dance.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We will be discussing today episodes 5 and 6.
More like bro-ups the last bants.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we'll be talking about episodes 5 and 6 of the Jordan documentary, The Last Dance. Yeah, let's commence. I have with me today, before we start, in case you're new to the show, I have Gary with me.
Hello.
I have Nathan with me.
Hello.
And your host with the most. I do think I've just been bitten on the leg by something.
The most what?
Charisma, Andrew. Okay, let's get on to it. So, episodes 5 and 6. Let's try and throw out a summary of it I know. Let's let Nathan start, because I know Gary's got a hot topic on it. But yeah, just before we start, cheers, everyone.
Cheers, mate. There you go.
Nice.
I'm always drinking out of cans. You always got bottles.
Yeah.
Can't afford bottles.
Go on then, Nathan. Yeah, what was your take on episodes 5 and 6?
Yeah, man, really good. I think these are probably the best ones yet. I think I said that last week as well. I think, but I think it's because it is just getting better and better the more detail you're finding out. There's more game footage again, which is sick. Seeing like some of the playoff games, and obviously like seeing a different side to Michael, one that we hadn't seen before. Who up until now, as they saw him at the time, had kind of been portrayed as Mr. Perfect. And I'm not saying that like this it makes him a bad person, because to be honest, I think all the media hype is bullshit anyway. But it was interesting seeing that side of it, and and a reflection on what we do with famous people anyway. And he's not the first person to get this kind of unfair treatment, and I'm sure he won't be the last. But I thought the both episodes were really good.
Thank you, Gary.
Right.
Oh, I would also like to welcome back Gary to the show. He's decided to turn up this week. Carry on, Gary. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Annie.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, nice to have you.
Yeah, I thought they were good. I don't know. The more I watch it, the more I just think he is so up himself and thinks so much of himself that it's just like no one on there that has a bad thing to say about him is going to be on there.
Yeah, Gary, like as each episode goes, Gary's hating on Michael Jordan more and more. In our discussions,
let me put it in this way: the more I watch it, the more I realise he was better than anyone else. When I watch it, I think, yeah, he's definitely better than LeBron. He's definitely better than Kobe. You can tell that now. The people he played against and what he had to do in them situations and overcome. Yeah, he was a lot better than them. But as a person, nah. LeBron James 100% is a better person than he was.
But then again, that's just the side we see of LeBron James, which is what everyone seemed to think of Michael Jordan before there's this whole gambling thing, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. But up until that point, everyone thought that about him then as well. And I think it was the thing I find more interesting about Michael Jordan is just that his desire to win and be the best comes over everything else. And I think maybe that would rub some people up the wrong way throughout his life, kind of thing. But at the end of the day, I think he is a basketball player, and he's a really good one, and that's why.
Yeah, I agree on both points. I think with what Nathan was saying, it's cool to see, you obviously hear about all the work ethic and stuff of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, but it's cool to see Michael Jordan, who's kind of like the Disney version of them, or has been portrayed up until now, like kind of like a Disney version. He doesn't really do anything wrong. So it's good to see the human side of it, as well as how much of drive he had, and overall just wanted to be the best. But I do also agree with Gary a little bit. He isn't perfect, which is also good to see, and he can be a bit of an arsehole. And I do think like the documentary, the only enemy on that documentary so far is Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
And he seems to get cut off pretty quickly with whatever he says.
I, sorry, Andy. I
No, go on.
read today, because I knew Jordan and Charles Barkley don't talk anymore,
Mm,
and everyone loves Charles Barkley, don't they?
yeah.
He's on TNT and that, and he's quite funny and whatever. Anyway, them two don't talk, and they used to be really good friends. And the reason they don't talk is because Charles Barkley said, um, everyone at Charlotte Hornets is basically MJ's mates. He needs to get rid of them and, freshen it up, get new people in.
So he told
'Cause
him
they're
some
obviously,
truths.
yeah, because they're obviously horrible. But he's letting them get away with it because they're his friends and buddies or whatever. And MJ just never talked to him since, sort of thing.
Yeah, that kind of did strike up a little bit with like obviously the previous episodes where Isaiah Thomas is the walk. And like he hasn't spoke to him, he doesn't look like since, and he seems to fall out with people and then like hold a grudge for like the rest of his life. But apparently, I heard something today on a podcast recommended to me by Gary. I can't remember the name of it now. What was it?
Pod don't lie.
Yeah, Pod Don't Lie. They were talking about episodes 3 and 4 and saying how Larry Bird, I don't think, talks to Isaiah Thomas either. I think like Magic Johnson doesn't talk to like him either, or something like that. Like they still hold that same grudge they did from back when they were all playing. It meant that much. Like you didn't grow up playing like like how nowadays in like AAU and stuff like the high school teams and that they all grow up playing with each other or against each other and then end up becoming
Yeah.
mates. That didn't happen back then, and that's why there was like such a hatred back then as well, and a lot more like rivalry. Whereas
I
now
guess
it's like
the way,
mates playing mates, isn't it?
the way they, I guess they showed them playing defense as well doesn't help that. Like when it's like you actually like hate them anyway because of
Yeah,
how rough they're playing, and then on top of that, there's all the other stuff going on. I think.
yeah. But yeah, like so. Let's dive deep into the episodes. I didn't really take any notes this time, like I did the previous week. I kind of just enjoyed it, and I did find it wasn't as maybe like I kind of like found myself looking at my phone every now and then because it wasn't as like I wasn't as interested these two
Oh really?
episodes. Yeah,
I love these two.
I think I want to see more basketball, which is probably not the right thing to be.
I feel
thinking.
like one of them had loads cluttered into it.
Mm,
It was like
we were in a time
stuff with
machine.
Tony Kukoc, the stuff with the Olympic USA team,
Mm,
and then there was some other stuff in that. And then the other one was pretty much all about his gambling, wasn't it?
yeah, and then like him coming back from it. Because
Yeah.
from what okay, so let's talk about the gambling then to start. That's going to be a subject that most people want to hear, especially our points of view on it. He's definitely like an addict. Like he said, he's a competition addict. Nah, he's a gambling addict. Like
I don't think so.
he
Like
definitely
if
is.
you've got that much money,
Oh
what are you
yeah,
actually gonna do with it? Like it's
it
not.
obviously is the only thing that gets him buzzing type thing, or like gets the adrenaline going.
I mean,
But
there's probably people that gamble way more than he ever has. Like, I just think like, yeah, he could maybe have a bit of a problem, but like, I don't know. It just I don't think it's a negative thing.
But like, I
Which
find it
is
weird.
kind of what it's
Like,
been.
obviously, none of us are like those type of people where we have loads of money to spare to chuck around, and well, we bet on like the TikTok thing and stuff like that. Doesn't really matter. But like, betting on like chucking a quarter the closest to a wall or something.
That's the game that I've played that at work.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
must
Not
be.
for money.
Okay.
I used to throw washers in a little tin.
I can't remember what it's called. Is it Penny on the Wall or something like that? It's an actual game.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd never seen it, so that looked to me as a problem.
But we played for like the coins that were left over, so you made like 8p maybe.
Yeah.
So it
Well,
wasn't
what
quite
did
the
you
same.
guys think of him going off to Atlantic City, like to with his dad or whatever, and his a few mates to gamble and like gambling
Yeah,
on the plane and
it
people
probably
not wanting
isn't
to
the
play with
best.
him.
It's probably not the best idea in terms of like on game night, but like I get it. Like, but I just feel you have to compare the gambling thing with the other part of the documentary on that episode. I think which was about his life, which just looked horrendous. Like
Oh
as
yeah,
soon as
yeah.
he gets into the public eye, he's just hounded until he gets back to his room again, and then like he gets a bit of time to himself, then goes back out. And he's
But he's literally
hounded
like
again.
imprisoned in that hotel room, and
That's what.
that's
So it's like his escape from it, I think. And like, some people resort to drinking or whatever, but maybe just like, he wouldn't drink because he's playing still. Maybe that's just his outlet, and like that's just something that people look down on, and gambling being a bad thing. But like, I don't know. I feel like he's just human, and if he wants to do that, he can do that. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. I had no problem. I was completely on Michael's side throughout the whole thing, really.
Okay, so we can confirm Nathan is also a gambling addict.
That's how it works.
He's a what do they call it? Someone who helps them. Like you're like a dealer.
An enabler.
Yeah, enabler. That's it. No, it looks like it's 2-1 on this. It looks like I'm completely in the wrong.
Even
Apparently,
if you think he's a gambling addict, do you think it's a problem though? Like,
I guess if you've got that much money, it doesn't really matter. Like obviously, like we've all gambled, we've all put bets on football or basketball or whatever. And when you win, when you get that win, there is a rush, and I know that some people can't shake off that rush, and they're always chasing it.
It's understandable. Imagine having so much money that it doesn't even matter if you lose.
Yeah, it's true.
And like he hasn't gotten to the point where he's lost all his money, like you said. So like, I don't know.
Well, maybe we see it as an addiction because we can't do that.
Yeah. So to us it seems ridiculous. But then, like, if you just had a load of spare tenors around, and you could maybe make more money with that, and you liked competition, like, and if you lost it, it didn't really matter. Then I probably would gamble more.
I remember the feeling. I'd never been in a casino before, and we were me and Ali were in Niagara Falls, and like they have casinos there, and we went in one of the slot machines and won like $20. Well, Ali won like $25, $20, and I was like, oh, I want to have a go at the one with the roulette thing, the spinning thing.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, what? Because when you see him put down the chips and all that, and they do the like,
read them and weep, boys.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be. Well, now I guess I'd be like, I want to be Mike MJ. So like, I remember going to that table and that feeling of dropping that $25 like on the minimum on the table, and sitting there like a bowler with Ali next to me, and then watching the table spin, and then not knowing what happened, and then him going, "That's it, you're done." Like, oh, cool. That was fun.
That's really the thing we're drawn to, aren't you? It's like how they do all like loot boxes and stuff now. Like it's the same thing, isn't it, on games?
You always like want more. Like
we're drawn to it. It's just the thing that happens, and like if you've got a lot of money, I don't know.
I personally felt like I didn't need to gamble anymore after that. I learned my lesson. But yeah, I can see obviously if I'd have won, then I'd be like, okay, let's win some more. But yeah, I don't see the pull of it. But anyway, so Jordan isn't a gambling addict. You heard it first from Bro Ops. Okay, moving on to the next. Maybe some of the next things I like to. The one thing that really stood out to me was that I loved how he took offense to like anyone being compared to him, even if he thought they were lower, like the Clyde Drexler thing. Obviously, like someone had said, or was it Magic Johnson had said they're kind of the same player, and it was like you could see like the fire behind his eyes, like I'm gonna fucking kill him, and I just loved that. Like he just absolutely dominated, and Clyde Drexler looked like an old man. I don't know if anyone else like thought. He was like a balding old man, and like Jordan was just going to absolutely like dominate him.
Yeah, that's just I like that competitive edge, and like it's something I can't relate to at all because I don't get that. But I think it's like cool seeing it and him kind of being honest about it, because like, which kind of like some people might say, oh, it's a bit of a dick thing to say, but I think like it's honest, that's what he was doing. So
it adds to his drive again, doesn't it?
It's good though because he's never lost it, has he? He's still that competitive now.
Yeah,
you can just tell like no matter whatever it be, obviously he's still playing golf or whatever.
Yeah,
he's still. It doesn't matter how many times it takes him to beat you. He'll keep going and going.
And when it comes to even like throwing a coin at a wall and stuff like that, he still wants to be the one to win. I don't think I've ever met anyone like. Who's like even like slightly competitive like that. I don't think we'd be friends if I was
not that competitive and not a sore loser either.
when also to add to the gambling thing, did you kind of like get that feeling that when he obviously first started playing golf, people started to take advantage of that? Like, obviously, like he was kind of like the NBA pro, trying to play golf now. So people were kind of like, oh, I'm gonna hustle him for money. That seemed to be what was coming across by all those people he owed money to. Like, they were like golf
Yeah.
hustlers, basically, weren't they?
Yeah.
Which is kind of, it's
And
kind of sad, but like at the same time, he's got like this bottomless pit of money. So you're gonna try. People are gonna try and take advantage.
yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that I just want to bring up as well, like it's taken till I think it was episode 5 when he said something like, I can't remember what it was. I can't do that because the wife might find out. But that's the first time in episode 5 that he mentions about his wife.
Yeah, I actually didn't even know he was married. Like by then,
and he's got like I don't know how many kids he's got. 3,
yeah, 3 or 4, something
3 or
like
4.
that. Yeah.
But you see him once in that Paris trip. What episode 1
Oh
or
yeah,
2?
the two boys, weren't it?
Yeah, and then nothing since then. Just
Yeah,
that's
he's got
weird.
5 kids.
I
He's got
think
5. It's
for,
2
I
different
think
marriages, isn't it? Or girlfriends.
Might be right. Yeah.
I'm quite glad of that though, because I kind of want it to focus on like him and the basketball side. Like, I don't really care about the personal life. Obviously, I do to a point because that's what the whole gambling thing's about. But like, because that was what was going on throughout his career. Like since then, now I'm just a bit like, I wouldn't be that fussed about that part of it.
Yeah. There was like obviously we're not gonna stick to subjects. Let's talk about like the points of the two documentaries that kind of like stood out to you, and like one I really enjoyed the talks about the Nike deal, and
Yeah,
the fact that Michael Jordan wanted to go to Adidas first, or
yeah,
Adidas as they say in America.
yes.
I was shocked at
And
the fact
Converse
that,
was the best shoe then as
and they
well.
didn't
Like,
see a
they're
fit
so
for him.
ugly.
They didn't see it. I bet they
Yeah,
are gutted now, like
yeah,
absolutely gutted. But can you imagine, like, not that they would have had the same designs or anything, but like a Air Converse or an Air like
yeah,
Adidas or something, like it'd just be so
yeah.
weird. But
I didn't
the
realize
one
as well
stat. Go on, Nate.
that.
While
So
I find the
that
stat.
I didn't realize as well that like the making of like the Air Jordan 1, is it Air Jordan 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like kind of what pushed like basketball trainers into like fashion wear rather than just being basketball shoes.
Well,
Like,
did you
and
see
it
the
probably,
state of them like before, when they were
yeah,
showing like their own Converse, like Larry Bird and that?
yeah. It makes sense now you see them, but I didn't realize that was how it worked, kind of thing. I thought like
And they all kind of wore
people were
like
wearing
boring
basketball trainers
colors.
for ages. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just matched their team or whatever it looked like, didn't it?
Well, like the crazy statistic that's obviously being shown around now is that when Nike were like, oh, when they released the Air Jordan, their goal was over 4 years to have like to make 3 million from it, and like in the first year they made 120 million. Like that just showed like how mad that shoe was, and like you can see
Yeah,
why like people are still like paying ridiculous amounts for the original.
yeah.
They're called the breads, aren't they? The bread ones or something as well. That's the other name for it. I'm not sure totally, but I think that
Gary's the
style.
trainer guy, isn't
I don't
He
know.
knows
You
everything
had a
about.
pair, didn't
he?
you?
I've got a pair. I've got a pair on the floor, but they're the later
They're
ones.
fake, aren't
No, not fake.
they?
They're the fly knit or battle knit or fly knit.
Aren't they Air Jordan ones? Something
No,
like
where like Jordan's got a booty and like
that.
no, I had a pair of fake Air Jordan ones that I got from like China for like
Oh,
£25.
okay. I did think you did.
I sold them at like the market or something for like 15 quid. But no, I do have a proper pair, but they're the fly knit ones, not. I've
You
got
wear
two
'em?
actually. I've got a mid pair as well. Some other ones, nah.
You never wear them?
No, they're not comfortable and they don't actually look that good with what I like jeans and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, they end up just being
Fair
like, I won't buy another pair. I might get the lows. They got the Jordan 1 lows now, which actually look cool.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Make your feet bleed though, don't they?
Well, yeah, that was a really crazy thing about it as well. Was that what was it? How many years later, and he was wearing a pair of Jordan 1s again? Like,
Well, it'd have been in his last
like
season.
12
15
years
years
or something.
Yeah.
15,
Yeah.
And he's wearing against the Knicks, right? He's wearing the Jordan 1s.
Yeah.
And like I said to me and Ali were watching it, and I said to her like, I've got a pair like of the newer ones, like Flynet, and that you could never run in them anyway. I would never want to play basketball in a pair of Air Jordan 1s as it is. Like
Yeah.
they must have been like when he said they were bleeding, it must have been horrible.
Yeah.
Like
But
even
he had a
back
great
then.
game as well.
Yeah, I don't know what Jordans
Yeah.
was out then at the time. That he should have been wearing. They look kind of like the 12s or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's no way you'd want to play in them. But I loved how he was like, I'm playing good. I've got to keep him on. Like all of a sudden, you
Yeah.
saw like a
Yeah.
superstitious side of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's true about as well. I looked this up because I watched Space Jam the other day. He did actually used to wear his North Carolina shorts underneath his Chicago Bulls shorts as
Oh,
well,
really?
according to
Yeah.
IMDb trivia.
In
Which
Space
could
Jam, he
be wrong.
sends Bugs Bunny and Daffy
Yeah,
Duck.
don't forget my shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick film.
I'm just gonna. You
I
guys.
wanted to talk about Space Jam and this Last Dance.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
wonder if
sure
there'll be a crossover.
it's got to come up. When did the Space Jam come
Yeah,
out?
surely.
96.
Oh, okay, they've got to bring it up at some point. I'd have thought.
Interview with Bugs Bunny. I
Bugs
thought as well,
Bunny.
one of the good bits of the two episodes was the start of the fifth one with Kobe Bryant talking at
Oh,
the start,
yeah.
obviously showing the
Yeah.
footage of the All-Star game with Kobe, and like it was nice seeing it because obviously I'd seen the speech that Michael Jordan did at Kobe Bryant's memorial thing.
Yeah.
But then seeing Kobe Bryant do his interview and basically say the same thing about him being like an older brother kind of thing,
And like
calling
everything
him
he
up.
learned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
Michael Jordan said, didn't he? His thing, and it was like quite a nice.
It got you in the feels of it because it's like,
crossover.
oh shit,
Yeah,
Kobe's
like
in
straight
this.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know Gary has a hot take on this section
Oh,
about
take Gary.
Netflix and maybe like the production side of it.
Yeah, I just thought it was just a bit rubbish that all they'd put is that one line about Kobe. You know what I mean? It was
What
like
line?
in love and memory of Kobe, and then that was it. It was on for about
Oh,
3
at the
seconds.
start.
Nothing about Gianna or any of the other victims.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there could have been
Yeah.
like even like a little Kobe montage or something.
But they
I
might
think-
leave it to the end. I suppose they're only releasing it as they sort of go, and that might have just been a late thing as it happened
think-
quickly. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, you got to remember this was probably produced ages ago, and like
Well-
obviously, like now they've put it on Netflix. They just must have put that bit in at the start because Kobe featured in the episode, but no one else did. So I imagine they only focused on Kobe because this is probably the first time he comes into it, and probably we're not going to hear anything from him again in the rest of the episode.
Was it you, Andy, I was talking to earlier, I think it might have been Ryan, who said that this basically got commissioned by Jordan the day after LeBron won his first ring.
Oh, this documentary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what it got
That's
like
when
greenlit
Jordan
or
said,
whatever.
yeah, give it the green light to go
There's that
ahead
long
with
ago as well.
it. Yeah.
What was that? 2006? No, maybe later than that. Sorry, 2000.
I wonder how he feels about the comparisons with LeBron. Is that what you think it was all about then? Like the kind of the green
just
light
think
as a reminder of.
Yeah, it's that competitiveness in him still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the
It's
I
so
greatest.
good.
hope
isn't it?
20 years from now we get a
Yeah.
LeBron one.
I do hate the whole kind of like comparing them all the time. They're like obviously with Kobe and Michael Jordan was the same as well, and Kobe spoke about it in that, and I think that is like a good answer, really. You know, kind of like you learn from the people that have played before, and like it's not really as simple. It's just like who'd win 1-on-1. There's so much
Yeah,
more to
and
it.
they all played in different eras of like the games like play completely different in Jordan's time, different in
Different
Kobe's time, different to LeBron's time. Like so there's not really a comparison. You can just say they're like the three goats or whatever.
It seems to happen more in basketball than any other sport. Like I've played football and never really was like, oh, who's better out of you?
Well, it's
and
just
you.
it's
But
Messi
like
and
whenever you
Ronaldo.
start
Isn't
playing,
it?
It's because the
but then what
superstars
means
can
that
make
whenever
the biggest impact, can't they, on basketball
but
more
I don't
than
even
any
mean
other
with
sport.
superstars. I mean with like me and like people I played football with. But then whenever you play basketball, like straight away, like I remember me and friends would play basketball at school and be straight away be like, oh, who's better out of you and you? And it's just like, what? Like, it just never really happens with other sports.
I guess,
who's better at
I guess with
rugby out of
basketball,
uni.
like everyone can kind of, especially at like a younger age, like everyone plays the same position in a way because there's not much
Yeah.
like difference in. But yeah, with basketball as well, it's like under a magnifying glass, isn't it? With football, like or soccer, you've got like 11 players all playing different positions with different abilities, haven't you? Like they have
Yeah.
different like special traits or whatever. But like you do have the same conversation in football, but it is literally just Ronaldo or Messi.
Yeah. I mean, there's less like basketball is there's like Michael Jordan has shown his competitiveness and like other players and stuff. There's definitely a level of like attitude that comes with playing basketball, I think, which is why as well there's the whole kind of like the bit where they played that guy from Croatia in the Olympics and they had to
what
like,
was it his name? Gary Kukoc.
show how
Tony
Gary.
Kukoc.
And just abusing him.
My name's Gary. Tony Kukoc.
Yeah, I felt sorry for him. It's just like he's done nothing wrong,
and he's like joining your team, like
yeah.
He's literally in a civil war, and they were like, "Nah, he's too soft for the NBA."
Yeah,
like he's literally in a war-torn country,
and
like
he's staying because he's getting paid a lot more as well.
You lot live in 5-star hotels every week, and he stayed there an extra year, didn't he?
They couldn't get to Jerry, so they just take out on this guy.
Yeah, because was it? I don't know if it was this episode or the previous ones where that guy was supposed to be a really good defensive player that Jerry Krause really liked. So Jordan was like, "Well, I'm just going to fuck him over every time." Like I think it was these episodes, wasn't it?
I think it was one of these two. It was in the playoffs, wasn't it, or something like that?
And he's like just dunking on him and like going past him, and every time just making sure he scored. And it was just like it wasn't even that guy's fault, but it was Jerry Krause's fault. You could tell that every time he dunked on that guy, the guy would be looking at him, but Jordan's like looking out to the crowd, like. It was just mad. Is there any other bits that like kind of stood out to you? That there was something that Gary said earlier, but I was going to go on about, but I completely forgot. It's like completely gone from my brain now. But I can't really remember what else happened in the episodes apart from what we've discussed already.
We haven't said about the Olympic team training session.
Oh yeah, the dream team.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was going to compare. So one of you guys said earlier that LeBron is obviously different to Jordan, but so in the episode it was rumored that Michael Jordan kind of selected his team basically, or said as long as Isaiah Thomas isn't playing, I'll play.
Yeah.
But LeBron does that every team he goes to, doesn't he? All of a sudden you see all these players leaving. Like look at the Lakers 2 years ago.
What for trading Anthony Davis?
Well, last year, when they got rid of like 4 players, or 5 players.
Well, when they were gonna trade for him but didn't manage to get him,
and then they all had to play together still. Yeah,
they all knew who LeBron wanted to get rid of. Like, it happens.
Yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, like maybe Michael Jordan was the one that said that. Maybe we don't know, but like. He wasn't the only one that didn't want to play with him, like you said earlier. Like Larry Bird didn't like him. Magic Johnson.
Well, we've all played for teams as well, like local teams where we don't like the people we play with necessarily.
Exactly. And if there's one guy that's going to rough up anyone, like annoy anyone, what's the point in having him when you've got other players you can choose from anyway? Like you've already got like Magic Johnson and stuff. So like, why you're not going to, take him and potentially risk like disbanding the team or pissing everyone off.
Who would you rather have, Michael Jordan or Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah.
Or sorry, who would you rather have, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, the whole team, or just Isaiah Thomas on his own?
Yeah. It's a no-brainer, really, is it?
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, Gary, do you have anything you want to talk about with the Dream Team side of things?
Yeah, I understand completely. They left him out because why would they take him when it's just going to upset everyone there? Just going to put a bit of awkwardness in. He's going to be trying to joke with you, and you just know you don't like him. you don't want that when you're traveling halfway across the world, do you? No. You don't want someone there that's going to make it awkward.
There was that moment where you saw like Jordan walking out to the Barcelona stadium or whatever it was, the Olympic Stadium, and he was wearing that like iconic like 90s short and t-shirt outfit, that like colorful. The colourful kids presenter outfit.
The 90s, yeah.
And I remember seeing that, I was like, oh, yeah. Like that. That's the kind of Jordan I remember. I was like,
Yeah.
if they added that fit to like NBA 2K, like my player would be wearing that. Like that'd be awesome.
He loved wearing a beret everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, cigar as well.
Beret
Yeah,
and
man.
shorts, beret and vest, beret
Yeah.
and trench coat, beret and leather coat.
I don't know what we've got like to come with the documentary. Obviously, it ended with them going into the playoffs against. Was it the Pacers?
I can't remember what.
Yeah, I
Have
think
they done the first three-peat then?
yes, it was now them going into the 1998 finals, I think. Oh, sorry, the
Okay, yeah,
Eastern Conference finals or something like that against the Pacers, I believe.
yeah.
Because we've actually only got 4 episodes left.
So we've got to wrap up what happened with the '98 season,
then we'll have
and
like
then
him retiring to play
uh,
baseball and then
yeah,
coming back and all that crap. I
yeah.
imagine. I imagine that'll
Because
be coming to it.
the end of the gambling one with when he actually went on that gambling thing was the Eastern Conference Finals, wasn't it, against Nick?
Yeah. Which
Oh, yeah.
they won.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then played was it the Lakers or the Utah Jazz?
Uh,
No, I can't remember either.
what was the?
Too many teams.
Wasn't there one against Barkley?
Oh yeah, the Phoenix Suns. One.
Oh yeah,
Oh, quickly then we haven't got
Because they're
much
obviously
longer.
West.
We haven't got much longer left. So the Charles Barkley one, that's something we should really quickly go over. I had a VHS tape lent to me by an old basketball coach of
I
the
remember that.
that Charles, and how good was Charles
Yeah.
Barkley?
Yeah,
Oh my
he's
god,
a
that video was
beast.
like basically like a highlight reel of his career.
Yeah.
With a documentary, and it was so good. Like Charles Barkley was an absolute monster. Um, honestly, if he was on like a slightly better team with like maybe one other good player or one other star player, he'd have like killed it. But I did
Well, did
like
they?
the things he said about Jordan as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is that kind of like if they don't speak anymore, he still could like acknowledge the fact that like he just played better just at the time, didn't he? So
Yeah,
he didn't say he was a better player, but I'd noticed, but he did say that like he just outplayed him.
yeah. I like the honesty of like when Jordan wants to do it, he'll just turn it on basically, and like I
Yeah,
tried my hardest, but it wasn't hard enough.
yeah,
I like that honesty.
Because what Barkley says at that point in time, I didn't think there was any player that could beat me.
Yeah,
yeah,
He says that, doesn't he?
it was almost like a superhero's realization that they're not the most powerful. It was like oh, I don't know. It was just like crazy how Jordan was like, however old, but could still step it up an extra gear just to take on like Charles Barkley.
yeah.
Oh, but one thing I've just remembered what I wanted to say. I loved at the beginning of the 5th episode when they were talking about Kobe and saying like that kid
Oh
just
yeah,
wants
in
to
the locker room.
go at you
Yeah.
every time. It
Yeah,
like proper like made me like that's where the feels came in, and it was just like
yeah.
it was so cool to hear like these legendary like
And they were talking
players.
about because he airballed it a couple of times,
Yeah,
didn't he? In like
and he
his
doesn't
rookie
care. He'll
season
just
and
keep
stuff.
coming. He'll just keep coming at
Yeah, and they were just like, "I'll stop passing the fucking ball."
you. Yeah,
And stuff
yeah,
like
yeah, that was
that.
it. Yeah, I love that. It was so cool
Funny
to hear.
seeing that side of it that they talk about. You know, obviously they do, but like just actually being the fly on the wall, hearing about them talking about another player, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
and like
because you
discussing
do
like
think
what
like
he
I've
did.
always thought when they play other teams, like do you think they're like, oh, we got to watch out for so and so? Obviously they are, but like actually hearing them doing that, like I thought it was
Yeah,
quite funny and like
it was
cool
like it was
insight.
very like it just put a smile on your face at the beginning of the episode because it was like wow,
Yeah,
it's so cool to hear like these guys talk about him in such even though he was obviously like what 2 or 3 years into his like career, he was still like a young rookie type thing, or being treated like a
yeah.
young rookie.
Was that his rookie
Yeah.
season? I
I'm
feel
not
like
sure. Did he
played
go
with
into the All-Star game in
All-
his rookie season? Was it?
No, second
Yeah,
season. Pretty sure it's
Oh,
second.
okay, yeah,
but it was like it was just cool
Yeah.
to hear them being like, yeah, he'll just keep coming at you. It was like
yeah.
they couldn't get rid of him, but yeah, it was cool to see.
And like
Obviously,
how
Kobe
excited
say.
Kobe would have been.
Yeah, it was cool to
Yeah.
see that he'd obviously learned stuff, and just asking Jordan about his turnaround jumper and stuff like that. It was kind of like because Kobe did the exact same thing to the younger players. He's been like he was playing with Jason Tatum, stuff like that to like help him out, and you can see that he got
Yeah.
that from Jordan. Then at that moment, and
Yeah.
it was just cool to see.
And I think it's like, as well, especially from someone like Kobe, who's always been perceived as maybe not so much now, but definitely before the helicopter crash. Like before that, I feel like he was perceived as someone that was really arrogant and cocky. But like now you see more that he wasn't, and like especially like with episodes like that, you kind of saw that side as well. And like
Yeah.
people are kind of realizing that he's like he just had that similar drive to Michael Jordan, that like winning just while he was playing came over everything else. And now he's not, when he stopped playing, kind of could step more into that kind of coaching supportive role, I guess.
No, I completely agree. We are going to run out of time, so thank you everyone for watching. Like and subscribe, as we always say. Next 2 episodes coming, Friday? Gary, goodbye.
Au revoir. See you later.
Nathan, goodbye.
See you later.
And bye, everyone.
Bye.